Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin ahead of the FOMC meeting and then take a look at several altcoins that have been soaring and giving some general thoughts on those things. And as always, if you like this content, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section. That would do a great deal to help the channel to grow, for the algorithm and all of that. And I really appreciate all of your, I see so many of you commenting just, hey, I'm glad you're back. And I really do appreciate that. But let's go ahead and dive on into this. Fed preview, Powell to trigger, quote, healthy pullback in Bitcoin, experts say. And so, okay, first of all, this article is a little bit clickbaity because there are differing opinions in this article. One communicates a quote unquote healthy pullback, and the other one communicates a level of bullishness that I have not seen, not just in the crypto market, but in markets in general. And so let's take a look at what we have in this article here. So financial conditions have loosened to a point where the Fed chairman may detail the extent of easing is unwarranted, one observer said, warning of a pullback in risk assets. And so the question in hand is, how hawkish will Fed Chair Jerome Powell be tomorrow at the FOMC press conference? We are most likely, very, very, very likely, 99% likely to see a 25 basis point increase in the federal funds rate. That is priced into the market. It's completely fine. And the fact that Bitcoin has risen is partly that's priced into a 25 basis point increase, because the last Fed meeting was 50. The meetings before that was 75. And so anyway, the question is, how are the markets going to react to Jerome Powell being to his level of hawkishness? And so here's what one person says: there's a strong possibility that in the press conference, Powell will be more hawkish and retighten financial conditions. For that reason, we could see a healthy short-term correction in crypto and all risk assets. Nauman Sheikh, head of treasury at crypto asset management firm Wave Financial, said. Now here's my, there's some things that I agree with and some things that I disagree with in this particular quote. It seems like it's a given that Jerome Powell will posture himself as hawkish, no matter how hawkish or dovish the Fed chairs are going to be. And Mr. Sheikh here seems to be communicating that Jerome's his hawkish communications, are going to have a negative effect on the market. And there are other things that can certainly have a negative effect on the market. I don't think Jerome Powell speaking in a more conservative way is going to be the thing that causes that to happen. Now, do I expect volatility tomorrow or today if you're watching, the day after I'm making this video? I do expect some volatility for sure. But the idea that Jerome Powell talking with the same tone that he's been talking with over the last few months would cause that seems kind of like nonsense to me. But who knows? Maybe he'll be right. Let's see another opinion here. Chris Weston, head of research at Pepperstone, said financial conditions have loosened to a point where Powell may detail the extent of easing is, quote, unwarranted. That would push risk assets, including tech stocks and crypto, lower. So he is of the same mindset here. At this juncture, it seems unlikely the Fed would want to appear dovish. I agree with that. So would the risk are for a hawkish Fed, albeit this is expected. I agree with that. And in a market where leverage funds are short USD in the spot market, the risks are small skewed to USD upside, which by extension, this means a lower NASDAQ and gold price, Weston noted in a weekly market update. So we have the negatives here. And there are a few things that support that. We'll take a look at the S&P 500 because it is a key. I'm going to go back to that article, by the way. It is at a key level of resistance right now. And if we break through that and turn it into support, that's going to be bullish for the crypto markets, obviously for the stock markets as well. But what I drew this line here. You can see this resistance from this lower high that we put in on December 1st and then revisited 2 weeks later, December 12th, a little bit around that time. And we are right back at that level. It's about $4,100 for the S&P 500. If we break through, if we see a daily close in the S&P above this 4,100 level, then that means that this right here, if you're watching me, this low at about $3,700 for the SPY is a confirmed higher low, which means that there is a trend reversal most likely in place. But as long as we get resistance there, and if we go lower, we could still be in a downturn. I believe that this was the bottom for the SPX, October 13th, a month before the Bitcoin bottom. And I believe that Bitcoin did, in fact, bottom out at $15,600 or so. And so I do believe that we'll break through. And short term, I believe that's going to be bullish for crypto as it correlates with the stock market in many ways. But let's see some other thoughts here. I expect the Fed to raise rates. Now, who's speaking here? Several Fed officials warned of higher rates early this month. We know that. Still, Bitcoin managed to gain 40% this month with more risky cryptocurrencies like gaming tokens staging bigger rallies. So macro investor James Choi. I expect the Fed to raise funds rates by 25 basis points. Everyone is expecting that. And send out Powell to talk all hawkish. I agree. But a barking dog never bites. And this is what I'm communicating here when I'm talking about my disagreements. Yeah, we all know that the bark is going to be there, but will the bite be there? We'll see about that. Market is forward looking, James Choi again, and it will start pricing in a pause in March. So I do agree with this. I think that this is going to be the last rate hike before the pause. So a pause in March, in which by the time the S&P 500 will be at $4,500. Now, if the S&P 500 is at $4,500 in March, which I'm not saying I agree with that or disagree with that. I don't really pay nearly as much attention to stock market prices. So this person's much more of an expert than I am. But given the fact that that is somewhere between 15 and 20% higher than where it currently is now, closer to 15% actually, that would put Bitcoin, I believe, somewhere in the $30,000 range. Now, what about the mega death cross that I talked about yesterday? I don't believe that we're going to see something similar to what the S&P 500 saw with the downward pressure. But I do believe, especially if that death cross happens, the 200-week simple moving average and the 50-week crossing below the 200-week simple moving average, I believe that traders are going to take that as an opportunity. And I do believe that there's going to be some short-term pain, but that pain is only going to last, I don't know, a week, a couple weeks, and we could certainly get back up to the 30s in March. Again, I believe we're in the early stages of a bear market rally, and that we will see Bitcoin between $30,000 to $42,000 within the next 6 months. But 6 months is a lot of time. So there can be some bearish moments. And so we'll see. But this would be, if the S&P is at $4,500, I'd be shocked if Bitcoin were below $25,000, if we were moving on towards new lows. Take all that with a grain of salt. I am not an S&P 500 analyst, and whatever you want to call me. I am more of a crypto guy. But looking at the charts here, we are moving higher. We have not we're putting higher highs and higher lows. You can see on my chart. My key level of resistance here, which you can see from the last time from August, around our highest daily close and weekly close in August, is in the mid $24,000 range. We did have some wicks up to $25,000. That is around where I believe that there's going to be a great deal of resistance. And I do believe short term that the bears are going to win. And the reason why I believe short term that the bears are going to win is because of that 50-week crossing over the 200-week. And I honestly, I don't want to, again, 15,006, I believe, was the bottom. I'm not saying that we're going back there or new lows. It is possible. But what I think, and I hold this very loosely, is that there is going to be a moment where the bears are going to feel vindicated, and then they will be proven wrong. And so what does that vindication look like? Perhaps it's something like under $20,000 Bitcoin over the next couple weeks or so. I hold that lightly, like I said, but rejection at 24, 25, in that range, perhaps new lows. I'm going to start loading up right about here, if you can see this box, lower 20s, and if it goes below $20,000, so be it. but I am going to open some new longs in this range. And I'm not super interested, some scalps for sure, but I'm not very interested in opening big longs at this point, given how close we are to that range top. We will break through, and it could be even by March that we're way beyond this. Because again, if we break through this range, the amount of time that we have spent historically above between $25,000 and $28,000 is so insignificant that we would get to $28,000 very quickly, maybe within a day. So it's going to be some exciting times, I believe. We will see. But anyway, moving on. 5 altcoins that produced double-digit gains as Bitcoin price rallied in January. Bitcoin's strong monthly performance translated to outside gains in APT, not ApeCoin, APT, Gala or Gala if you're from Europe, T, not to be confused with AT&T, Mana, and Solana, making them the top performing altcoins in January. So let's see what we have. We have Aptos, Gala Games, Threshold, Decentraland, aka Mana, and Solana. So Aptos, I made a video about this. It is in my bear market. No, would I buy Aptos in the bear market? I did say yes. The more research that I've done, I tend to compare this. Well, I can't take credit for this, but somebody called this the Walmart version of Solana. So ouch. Take that how you want. Aptos has done an insane rally. I would not touch this cryptocurrency with a 10-foot pole. It is a new blockchain. It's a layer 1, promising all the things that layer 1s promise: faster speeds, better scalability, all that stuff. And we'll see. I am not super excited about Aptos long term. Could it do well in the next bull euphoria phase? It certainly can, and we're seeing it do very well during this bear market rally. For me, it's more of a get in, get out type of thing. And I would say, honestly, for all of these cryptocurrencies, these are cryptocurrencies, whether I like them or don't like them, that I wouldn't touch. I would not touch right now. Similar to Aptos, Gala Games, my favorite metaverse crypto. I've been very loud about that. Also benefited from the excess negative positioning in the futures market. We didn't talk about that, but that's what it talked about with Aptos. The gain in Gala from 2 cents to 7 cents can be primarily attributed to wipeout of short positions. The token suffered significant inflation of around 17 million Gala daily, which accounts for around 28.2 million monthly at current prices. It raised concerns that the recent price pump could be short-lived. I don't even have a concern. I want it to go back down so I can accumulate more, but I am telling you, this price pump is short-lived. Now, it got on my radar as something that was pumping around when it was at 5 cents. Now it's at 7 cents. Fine. But the risk is way too high. I would not be touching Gala with a 10-foot pole right now, but I will be loading up big time in the coming months on Gala Games. Gala's team introduced a new roadmap of the project in which they seek to update the tokenomics, which would be huge because they are very inflationary, and that would be in order to reduce inflation and introduce a new burn mechanism. Please, Gala, will you please do that? That would be wonderful. Next, we have Threshold. I'm not going to talk about Threshold. I haven't done enough research on it. It is a merger of 2 projects, Keep Network and New Cipher. They launched on Coinbase recently, which tends to cause cryptocurrencies to pump. They have a V2 launch that just happened recently. So Threshold, do not touch. I am not too excited when 2 projects merge together, but here we have it with Threshold. Who knows what they'll do, but they've been pumping lately, so stay far away. Decentraland, I already made a video about Decentraland as well, and I am bullish on Metaverse. There's a huge growing pie when it comes to Metaverse, and who knows how much Decentraland is going to have of that, but they will have a piece. Even if it's, you could look at Decentraland and the Sandbox as like the crypto punks of the DeFi, not the DeFi, the metaverse space, as kind of like the OG, the relics, and people are going to want a piece of that pie, I think, forever, no matter how outdated the technology becomes, if it does become outdated at all. I mean, you look at the CryptoPunks, those are very ugly pictures that, are just computer generated. There's nothing special about them, but they're the first. They're actually the second, but for all intents and purposes, they're the first. And so people want that because it's like buying an old piece of art. Decentraland, in my opinion, will be like that, but stay far, far away. And so we had the Walmart Solana, and now here's the tried and true Solana, the tried and not very well withstanding. Anyway, moving on. Solana benefited from excessive negative sentiment around the blockchain's future. I would say quite certainly, yes, it was excessive. The price rally was a classic case of a short squeeze in the futures market. Absolute short squeeze, which means when I see a short squeeze, what tends to happen is it goes up and then it comes down. It will come down violently. I would not touch Solana right now, but I do believe that the negative sentiment is, like it says in this article, quite excessive. Solana's negative sentiment is too strong for the actual project. And I still have a lot of hope, not with Solana in general, but with Solana's price after it comes back down, that it'll do well. I talked about this in another video. I'll talk about it again. When it comes to developer growth, Solana is number one. Keep that in mind. That's all I'll say. Solana is adding more developers, and these are developers choosing to work on Solana. Not Solana like doing theatrics to recruit them. These are developers choosing to build on Solana's platform. They are growing faster than any other layer one, and then Near is second. So both of those are on my radar as cryptocurrencies that I will be loading up on in the bear market. And even if Solana puts in a 50% retrace, that is a phenomenal gain from its bear market bottom to that point. That's about a 20x from its bear market bottom. So please, Solana, will you please come back to your bear market bottom? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we know the drill. I've been really disappointed, and I'm just going to riff for a second. I've been really disappointed at how low a lot of these cryptocurrencies have not gone. I mean, if you remember the 2018 bear market into 2019, we saw 99% retraces, 99% dips on a lot of cryptocurrencies that then put in higher highs in the next cycle. What I'm mostly seeing right now is about 90%. And it's like, man, the difference between a 99% drop and a 90% drop is the difference between a 10x and a 100x. And so I think the thing I would attribute that to, it could be one of two things. It's one, we know the drill. We know that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to bounce back. Some of them won't. A lot of them will put in lower highs and a lot will put in higher highs next time around. So there's huge potential gains. The other thing that it could be attributed to is that we still have more pain ahead of us. I tend to think the former, not the latter. I think people are knowing the name of the game right now. And so these prices aren't dropping. I mean, if you saw something drop 99%, you would most likely think it's dead. And so, I mean, looking at Luna, that's, you want something that dropped 99%, there you go. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. I'm staying far away. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of cryptocurrencies that have not dropped enough, this kills me. Oh my goodness, man. Because if you saw my bear market buying guide that I put on teachable.com, it's still there. But I mean, whatever, don't buy it anymore. This was one of my 4 back the truck up cryptocurrencies. But it hasn't gone down enough, and I don't think it will. Dogecoin, I wanted to load up on Dogecoin somewhere between 3 and 5 cents. It just hasn't gotten there. And so here we go. Dogecoin superfans push meme coin to 2-month high as Elon Musk considers crypto payments for Twitter. So I've already talked about Elon Musk and Twitter and crypto in their payment system, but this is new news when it comes to Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is on a rip, and once again, it's thanks to Elon Musk. On Monday, the Financial Times reported that Twitter is finally preparing to offer payment tools, long a priority for Musk at Twitter. Although payments on the platform will likely focus on fiat currency like US dollars, Musk said he wants the system built so crypto functionality could be added later, according to the FT. So the initial announcement for this reward system. You know, if you've been to Reddit, you see there's Reddit Gold, but then they introduced a whole bunch of different rewards. I don't really go to Reddit all that much anymore, but if you go to Reddit, you can see all the different kinds of rewards, and that is you buy those rewards with fiat, with dollars, whatever your local currency is, and you can then spend it on gifting intelligent comments or something like that on Reddit, in Reddit comments. And so something similar was in the works for Twitter, but then Elon Musk has added that he wants the system built so crypto functionality could be added later. And so the question that is in front of us now is, what is the likelihood that Doge would be one of those cryptocurrencies? I would say it's pretty high. I mean, yeah, sure, Bitcoin would be one of them, and maybe some other ones, maybe Ethereum, but Dogecoin is very likely, in my opinion, if and when crypto functionality is added, Dogecoin is going to be one of those. And it's just one of these things where it's like we are in a new paradigm when it comes to Dogecoin. And you can see that clearly by looking at the Dogecoin Bitcoin chart. Here is Dogecoin all time. You know, I bought Dogecoin 2 weeks after it launched in 2013, and I did not expect anything significant to happen with it. And then over the 8 years that followed, nothing significant happened with Dogecoin. Yeah, it peaked at 1.7 cents in 2018, but that was a flash in the pan and went right back down. And I can tell you from experience, November of 2020, when Dogecoin was 0.3 of a cent, it was on nobody's radar. Nobody cared about Dogecoin. Nobody thought it was going to do anything of significance except for maybe another flash in the pan rise to, 5 cents, 3x from its previous cycle top. And then boom. If there's anything that what I would say is the most memorable thing from the last euphoria phase, I would say it was Dogecoin. More so than Shiba Inu, more so than NFTs. Without Dogecoin, there is no Shiba Inu. More so than Metaverse, Dogecoin culminating with Elon Musk going on SNL was the peak of euphoria last cycle. And these days are gone. The days of Dogecoin being this joke of a cryptocurrency, those days are over. And we're just not going back. I mean, man, I would have loved, I want to see something here, actually. I would have loved just one more opportunity to, all right, yeah, so it did break through that resistance there. I would love another opportunity to just buy low on Doge. Now, I'm not expecting a break to below the previous cycle top, just somewhere around 3 to 5 cents, like I was saying, but it just doesn't seem like that's in the cards right now. And so be it. Doge needs to be taken seriously. It's weird to me, but it needs to be taken seriously. And so, yeah, we've seen Doge do very well over the last month or so. But even then, this was not the cycle low. What was that, 7 cents or a little under 7 cents? That was not the cycle low. It did go a little bit lower than that, not to 3 to 5 cents. But man, and today you can see it is on a tear. And what do I say about that? I mean, man, what's Doge going to do next time around? It's not going to be another cycle of Doge. And I would say it's about 50-50 that'll put in a higher high. 75 cents. I just don't think we're going to see a $1 Doge. That's over 100 billion. That's over $135 billion market cap. I think by the time after the next halving, we'd see something closer to 140, 145 billion dollars for Doge, for market cap. That just seems unlikely to me. But last time around, it seemed unlikely to me. And so this is just a rant. Oh my goodness, man. I'm not FOMOing in, but I had better expectations as far as the multiples of returns, and it's just not happening because Doge is not going down far enough. Lastly, to end this video on a down note, crypto lender Celsius propped up its token, benefiting insiders, U.S. bankruptcy examiner. If there is any takeaway from the last cycle, it is this. I mean, Celsius put in amazing returns last time around. people who bought Celsius and sold high, bought it low and sold it high, did very well for themselves. Now, that was fabricated, according to a U.S. bankruptcy examiner. But here's my takeaway. Be very cautious with platform cryptos. What are platform cryptos? Binance, I'm not too worried about Binance. Crypto.com, not too worried about Crypto.com. FTX, VGX, Celsius, other ones. Be very cautious with ones, especially if they just blow things out of the water. You see 100x, 200x, 300x returns. Stay far away, after you take out your profits. But bankrupt crypto lender Celsius Network used investor money. You loaded your funds onto Celsius. They then turned that around to buy Celsius, not to, increase liquidity like what should be done, but to prop the price up so that on the back end, they could fill their pockets. So anyway, they took investor money and customer deposits to prop up its own token, inflating its balance sheet, while two of its founders cashed out millions. A U.S. court-ordered examiner report released Tuesday showed. Crypto lenders such as Celsius boomed during the COVID-19 pandemic, drawing depositors with high interest rates and easy access to loans. New Jersey-based Celsius filed for bankruptcy last July, blah, 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 freezing customer withdrawals from its platform. This is not a platform that I've used. I've not been immune to the freezing. I have some on BlockFi, but here's another thing that's not covered in this article that I want to point out. Celsius is working on a plan, on an unbelievably shady plan to give investors their funds back, or depositors their funds back. They, from what I've researched, they want to create a new cryptocurrency and give depositors their investments back in the dollar amount equivalent of that cryptocurrency to what they had. So if you had $10,000 of Bitcoin on Celsius, you'd get $10,000 of this cryptocurrency. And if you don't know what the problem is with that, where will that cryptocurrency's price go? As soon as those depositors are given or airdropped that cryptocurrency, it is going in the gutter. And then they'll be like, hey, we didn't know it was going to happen. No, wow, that is such a shock to me. But they will have done their part. And they belong in jail. These people belong in jail, and they're not going to jail. I'm just tired, man. I could be more passionate about this, but I'm tired right now. I woke up very early today, putting in long hours to, load up on some cryptos. But anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.